In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. His final creation was the Garden of Eden. It was a paradise. The Garden of Eden was filled with lush greenery. Rivers flowed with clear water. Animals roamed freely. God created Adam, the first man. He placed Adam in the garden. Adam was to tend to it. God saw that Adam was lonely, so he created Eve. Eve was the first woman. God made Eve from one of Adam's ribs. Adam and Eve were to live in harmony with creation. God gave them dominion over the animals. They were free to enjoy the bounty of the garden. However, there was one rule. God commanded them not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. He warned them that eating from it would bring death. Adam and Eve lived in blissful ignorance. They were content in their innocence. The serpent was a cunning creature. He was the most cunning of all the animals in the garden. The serpent slithered up to Eve. He began to question her about God's command. He asked Eve if God had really forbidden them to eat from every tree in the garden. Eve confirmed that they were only forbidden to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The serpent chuckled. He told Eve that God was keeping something from them. He claimed that eating from the tree would not bring death. Instead, he promised that it would make them like God. They would know the difference between good and evil. Eve was intrigued. She looked at the fruit. It looked delicious. Eve took a bite of the fruit. She felt a surge of awareness. She realized that she was naked. She felt ashamed. She quickly found Adam and offered him some of the fruit. Adam hesitated. He knew that they were disobeying God, but he also saw the look of newfound knowledge in Eve's eyes. He took a bite. Suddenly, Adam and Eve's eyes were opened. They felt the weight of their actions. Shame washed over them. They tried to cover themselves. They heard God walking in the garden. They hid. God called out to Adam. He asked Adam why he was hiding. Adam confessed that he was ashamed of his nakedness. God asked Adam who told him he was naked. Had he eaten from the forbidden tree? Adam blamed Eve. Eve in turn blamed the serpent. God was angered by their disobedience. He cursed the serpent to crawl on his belly and eat dust. He cursed Eve with pain in childbirth, and he cursed Adam with toil and hardship in the fields. God banished Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden. He placed a flaming sword at the entrance to guard it. Adam and Eve were forced to leave the paradise they had known. They entered a world of hardship and struggle. Adam and Eve's story is a cautionary tale. It is a story about the consequences of disobedience. It is a story about the loss of innocence. The serpent's temptation represents the allure of the unknown. The forbidden fruit symbolizes the desire for knowledge and power. Adam and Eve's choice to eat the fruit represents the human tendency to succumb to temptation. Their expulsion from the garden represents the consequences of our actions. Life outside the garden is full of challenges and difficulties. We face hardship, pain, and death. However, it is also a place where we experience love, joy, and growth. The story of Adam and Eve is a reminder that our choices have consequences. It is a reminder that we are not immune to temptation. But it is also a story of hope. Even though we may stray from what is right, we can still find redemption. We can still learn from our mistakes. And we can still strive to create a better world for ourselves and for future generations.